Good evening and welcome to the final round of the Race Department Grand Prix Championship here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for 80 laps here tonight. A fantastic oval, a great way to end the championship season. It's going to be a quick one, it's going to be a very long fraught one, and we'll let you know all of the championship predictions as we go through the night for the fifth running of the Race Department Grand Prix Championship. I'm Dan Marr, alongside me, of course, as ever, Peter Lee. And Peter, we're in for a very entertaining evening tonight, I imagine.
Yeah, going by how the previous oval round at the Lausitz ring, we're going to be in with a very interesting evening. That certainly threw up some surprises and threw up a lot of caution, so I'd expect similar here. So it will be interesting to see who comes out on top.
And of course, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a very, very complicated, very challenging oval. Very short lap time, so it means that you've got to really nail the lap. Of course, qualifying as ever, 1 out lap, 2 fast laps and 1 in lap. You've only got 4 laps and 10 minutes to complete it, but realistically you'll be completing them within 3.5 minutes. So it's not a long process at all, and it's been an interesting one over the past few rounds, but of course, as ever, it's going to be a fantastic challenge for absolutely everyone. The interesting thing to note, though, Charles Baccio and Dan Long, of course, first and second place in the championship at the moment. They're actually not due to be here tonight. That's really going to put a spanner in the works for the championship.
Yeah, that's very true, and we've got double points on offer here as well, so a lot of drivers who maybe thought coming into this round that they're not going to be anywhere might be able to make up a lot of points, might be able to make up a lot of points and a lot of places. Even if they finish 10th or 11th, they'll still jump quite a few places and even possibly win the championship, so it's all wide open here for these 80 laps.
And of course, the Indy circuit will provide us with some fantastic racing. It's a very challenging track, so we can never really predict what's going to happen. So, as the first of the qualifying laps come in, it is Miguel Muniz, who is currently sat on the top of the pile with a 39.6, 0.0128 ahead of Matej Shohanak. Toby Kadera is currently sat in third place with a 39.8. In fourth place is Joseph Wright. Eta Sintez sits in fifth. Darrell Russell is in sixth and seventh at the moment. Steve Legale. Everyone else, though, just going out and setting their laps. So, with the likes of Sharon van der Sloot, we've not seen Shane Burke. Standra Senhal as well. We're going to be setting lap times. We've got 18 in here so far. We're due for 24. It's all going to change even in these late stages, and we'll go through some of the changes in a minute. But it's going to be an interesting one to see some of these guest drivers here tonight to really see if they can affect the championship.
Definitely, and I think, as we said, with the double point situation and the fastest lap points and pole position points, I think it's going to be incredibly interesting to see who's going to be on top come the end. Miguel Muniz, of course, hasn't raced in this championship this season before, so a new entry to this championship, and he's putting a 39.6. The man who gets closest to him is Ollie McGowan, who hasn't yet set his lap times and is still sat in the pit lane. I did notice Matt Legale didn't manage to set a lap time, obviously not happy with the setup of his car, so he will be starting nearer to the back, but at the moment it looks like Miguel Muniz on top.
And as you say, we do have a good few guest drivers here for this final round of the championship. Of course, we've got the likes of Toby Kadera, is one of our guest drivers. Shane Burke is a first-time entrant in for this season. Ken Hunter as well is another one, and everyone, as they try and set their lap times now, get as competitive as they can do. You've got a feel for Matt Legale, who's obviously not going to be able to set a lap time, will be finishing last.
Yeah, he will by the looks of it, which isn't ideal, but remember 80 laps, a few pit stops and a few cautions I should think as well will be mandatory. It's India anyway, so going to get some cautions I should think.
And Shane
so
Burke,
not all is lost.
Not all is lost indeed. Shane Burke, I do apologise there, has just jumped up into second place, 97 thousandths behind Miguel Muniz, so that is very close indeed. The top 4 are only covered by 0.223. It's very close, and it's also close between Toby Cadera and Joseph Wright in 4th and 5th. So with just a few minutes of qualifying left to go, Sherwin out now for his laps, and Ollie McGowan out for his laps as well. Krasner Khalili, the only other person not to set lap times, and they are also out, setting first of their couple of laps. So even in these late stages of qualifying, you're trying to game everyone, you're trying to see where everyone else is, I suppose for some people, where everyone else is, and try and jump them in terms of on-track position.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things is Shane Burke, that's his best lap he's set all week leading up to this event, is at 39.718, so that's one of his best laps he's set around this circuit on this server, so very interesting to see him that quick. Ollie McGowan's quickest lap is at 39.613, so which is currently quicker than the provisional pole master time, so if he can repeat his quickest time is set this week in qualifying, that will put him on pole by 8 thousandths, but of course it's easy saying that, it's difficult doing it as he rounds turn 1 and 2.
And as you say, if you push just a little bit too hard around here, it can really race your lap time. It can really put that little demon in your mind ahead of the race, which you don't want to be doing. It's a very challenging race, a very long race. You've just got to get into the flow of it. And as we see coming through, turn number 4 for Ollie McGowan. Are we going to see a quick lap time? How quick is it going to be? Kresnik Khalili moves up into 6th place now, but Ollie McGowan only 4th so far with a 39.7, which is 0.176. He bit a lot of curb coming through turn 1. A load of understeer, that could really slow him up. Sherwin van der Sloot now moves up into 6th place with a 39.8, only 0.216 of a second. You're talking mere inches that separates you and pole position around here. But what can Ollie McGowan do for his final lap? Another big load of understeer going through turn number 4. He got some oversteer coming turn number 3, had to correct it. I can't imagine this is going to see him going any quicker indeed over the line, and he does. In fact, he moves up to 3rd place with a 39.7, only 0.105, and Sherwin is slowing. He's not improved, he only improved by 1,000th of a second. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is your qualifying result. Miguel Muniz will start on pole position ahead of Shane Burke, with Ollie McGowan and Matej Shermanak currently in 3rd and 4th. 5th for Toby Cadera, 6th place is Sherwin van der Sloot. 7th and 8th will go the way of Joseph Wright and Kresnik Khalili. Aita Sintez and Tjeerd Verdema will be starting in 9th and 10th. The Stander Shenhol will be starting in 11th, with Darrell Russell in 12th place. 13th will go the way of Ryan Seltzer, with Jamie Brooks in 14th. Steve Legale is in 15th, with Ken Hunter 16th. Sam Carmichael in 17th, and not setting a lap time, and last is Matt Legale. That is your qualifying result for the Indianapolis, the finale here for the Race Department Grand Prix Championship. And in just a moment, we're going to be going for a short break. And with qualifying completed, we now move to the race. 80 laps in prospect around the Indianapolis circuit and 2 formation laps to really get those nerves built up. It's going to be an absolutely fascinating one. It's going to be very tight. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be close. I don't really know any other words, Peter. What would you suggest apart from those?
Exhilarating. I think you're onto synonyms now. But you've named all the main ones.
And with 2 formation laps as well, it gives that extra bit of time just to help get the temperature into the tyres, but it does also help that extra bit to really build the nerves, to really make everything, you know, not seem that a little bit nervy, but I suppose it really can help a driver get into the rhythm.
Yeah, you say about tyre temperatures, well, it will affect it slightly. I should think even these paces of a Chevrolet Corvette, I should think it's not getting much heat into the tyres. It's going to be very interesting to see tyre strategy. Of course, we've got the 2 tyres on offer here. It looks like most drivers are on the harder compound tyre, but even so, getting heat into those tyres is going to take time, and I think even the first 1 or 2 laps at racing speed will require a little bit of caution from all the drivers.
Well, as we go round the final 2 corners, turns 3 and 4 for the first 2 formation laps. Time to recap the grid. It will be Miguel Muniz who will be starting the number 29 McLaren Honda Andretti, ahead of Shane Burke in the number 77 Simtech Motorsport car. Oliver McGowan on the 113 Speedy Mike Racing will be starting in 3rd place. 4th place will be Matej Suranak in the number 7 Duct Tape Racing car. Toby Kadura is in the number 91 with the number 16 of Joseph White lining up alongside him, with Kreshnik Khalili in the number 22 ahead of Ed Sintez in the number 17. Pierre Vedema will be starting in 147 in 9th place, with 10th place going to Stanley Senel in the number 19, number 39 Simtech International car. And as we okay. Okay, just to explain what's happening, we don't really know. Just please bear with us as we, I believe we're going back to warm-up, so we will be going underway racing in just a few moments' time. Well, as they say, we will carry on. The show must go on. And to briefly remind everyone of the first of 2 formation laps around here for the 80-lap race here. Final round of the Race Department Grand Prix Championship. Dan Marr, and alongside me is Peter Lee. Just to recap then the grid, it will be Miguel Muniz who will be starting on pole position ahead of Shane Burke, with Ollie McGowan and Matej Suranak will be starting 3rd and 4th. Toby Kadura and Sherman van der Sloot will be starting in 5th and 6th place respectively, with Joseph Wright starting ahead of Kreshnik Khalili. Ata Sintez and Thierry Vedema starting 9th and 10th, with Stander Senhall and Darrell Russell in 11th and 12th place. Ryan Seltzer and Jamie Brooks are 13th and 14th, with Steve Legale and Ken Hunter 15th and 16th. Sam Carmichael is in 17th place. 18th place is Matt Legale. Now, as we make our way around the first of the 2 formation laps, we were saying just a moment ago, Peter, it's going to be a challenging race, it's going to be a long race, but it can create a lot of uncertainty. With a race this long, one little mistake can really cost you everything.
Yeah, that is the thing about ovals, is that in a way that they're very similar to street circuits, conventional street circuits. One mistake and that is it. We saw last week in Formula 1 how a race at Baku threw up surprises, and I suspect here will be no different with the running order, and with 18 drivers who have all very closely matched. We saw the top 6 or 7 separated by 1/3 of a second in qualifying. It's going to be interesting to see who will have the speed, but also the consistency, what's the word? Patience.
Yes,
patience.
Yeah, especially with lap traffic around here, because if you get out of the tow and you got everyone following behind you, you're punching a big hole in the air for everyone to follow you. If you just break that, and then have to go and lose all of a sudden, lose a load of time. It's a difficult one, as you say. Patience is going to be a key over the next 80 laps, with just turns 3 and 4 to negotiate. The safety car, or the pace car as it's currently known, will pull in. We go side by side as we get ready for the final race of the Race Department Grand Prix Championship for this season. A great one, and we look forward to seeing more racing of this, of course, later on in the year. Hopefully, anyway. But Miguel Munoz starts on pole position on driver's left-hand side. Shane Burke trying to edge forwards on the right-hand side. A little bit cheeky, but he knows he's got to try everything to get ahead. You could be a racing driver if you didn't. They get up towards the line. We get underway. 80 laps here at Indianapolis, and Miguel Munoz starts in the lead and has created a massive lead for himself already. A good couple of seconds over everyone else, and he gets a big wiggle on this country turn number 1 for the first time. Everyone coming through, I think, quite cleanly. And just as I say that, there's already been a up into the wall. That is Ken Hunter, who got an oversteer moment coming through turn number 1. Wasn't quite sure what happened, just had to catch the rear end. Fishtail also got involved with Steve Legale, Paul Steve Legale, who's lost his front wing as well. But we're seeing them coming into the pit lane for the first time. But it is Miguel Munoz who's in the lead of the race, a good couple of seconds ahead of Shane Burke and Ollie McGowan. Toby Cadera is in 4th place, in 3rd place training, and everyone else behind him. It's a massive battle. This is a big one. It's Cadera who's gone backwards into turn number 1, and that's going to see him surely out of the race. Barrel rolling on the tip of his nose. Steve Legale does continue. Yellow flags through turn number 1. They do continue, so it's good to see, but I imagine we'll have captured some kind of data damage to that car, and we have gone, I believe, under caution for the first time with just 2 laps on the books here. We've already gone caution, but I suppose it's suddenly going to be enough time to get our breath back with what was quite an interesting opener, especially in the midfield, with 4 and 5 wide. We're seeing already new drivers tempting people with pit stops. We expect, 4 or 5 pit stops potentially without the safety car interventions. Of course, as the safety car does come out, we will see strategies being amended, changed, created on the fly. So we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. But Peter, an interesting start.
Yeah, interesting. Drives relaxed, but also I think a few pre-race nerves and start nerves got the best of some people, perhaps pushing their cold tires a little too much through turn 1 there, and a bit of contact in the back of the field. But Miguel Munoz got the green start, got the green flag start perfectly, pulled out second lead by the end of lap 1, and if that's anything to go by, it's going to be a breeze for him. But I should think Shane Burke and Ollie McGowan will be a bit more
attentive.
Yeah, a bit more attentive this time, and they'll notice where Munoz goes and try and follow after him a bit more closely.
Well, as you said at the start, he just sort of seemed to jump everyone, napping. So, as we currently make our way around the first couple of this first lap under the safety car. Hopefully it won't be too long until we see it back in. But Miguel, he's done it once, you know, and as they say, do some first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. As we've got Thierry Fedema, Ken Hunter, and Steve Legale, those who were involved with that damage in those collisions on the first 2 laps, coming into the pit lane to get the cars fixed. A bit of a lock-up from Steve's car. But it's at this good stage where they're on the safety car that they do pit. The only consideration is, of course, if they had more of an issue, how to do this under green, they could have very easily lost a good couple of laps, which would have really put paid to their efforts. But thankfully, they've managed to continue under as they all go. Ken Hunter's just coming out ahead of Steve Vigale then, so Ken Hunter's made more progress in the pits. Steve Vigale will rejoin in 17th, 18th place for Pierre de Pedema. They get underway, and the rest of our field make their way through turns 3 and 4. So hopefully they will get enough time. I imagine it's not this lap, it's going to be the next lap, where the safety car will pull in and we will get back underway under green flag racing, which is what we want to see at the end of the day, isn't it? But
yeah, we're all here for the green flag racing and as much racing as possible, and sitting behind the safety car isn't as exciting as going 230 miles per hour near a barrier, so hopefully we'll get back underway. I was just about to note Tejerd Fedema is actually one of the Simtech drivers. There's 5 of them here, and the reason being is Sherwin van der Sloot is within a very good chance of the championship, winning the championship here. Of course, he sits in 3rd position at the moment, but with 5 drivers to back him up and to help him, it might be that he can get right up there and possibly win the championship in the final round. Double points on offer.
with, of course, we have no Charles Baccio, we have no Dan Long, so we are missing 2 of the highest people in the championship running at the moment, which means it could, with the emphasis on could, be easier for, obviously it could be easier for Sherwin van der Sloot to take the title, but he's under no sort of due concern. He understands that it's not going to come easily, and he's going to have to push for it. He currently sits in 9th place, he's actually gone backwards compared to where he qualified, so going to have to be patient, wait and see what happens. But as we now make our way up towards turns 3 and 4 once again, will the safety car pull in this time? One would certainly hope so. Good to see us going underway racing once again. The safety car looks like it remains out, so we are going to see it come back in very shortly indeed. Today will be a fascinating race in prospect as ever. So, over the line, and it is currently Miguel Munoz ahead of Shane. Okay, safety car will be in this lap, but it's Miguel Munoz in the lead of the race ahead of Shane Berg and Oliver Gown, with Toby Cadera, Joseph White, Maciek Jovanak, Presley Clelly, Ada Sinter, Sherwin van der Sloot and Darrell Russell rounding out the top 10, with Standard, Senhol, Ryan Seltzer, Matt Legale, Jamie Brooks, Sam Carmichael, Ken Hunter, Steve Legale and Thierry Fedema all rounding up the back of the grid, and of course they're all caught up to the back of the pack, so we've got our full complement of 18 drivers ready to get underway in just a few minutes time. So as they make their way now up towards the next couple of turns, we shall wait and see what happens, and Shane will be more alert this time. As we heard earlier, of course it's going to be a challenge for him to try and really push it, but Shane is going to be on his coattails. There's already a big gap between the pair of them. Shane's going to want to close in, because as soon as Miguel goes, he's going to go. He's been quick throughout the last few days. Ollie McGowan was the fastest in practice. Look at this. Shane Burke's all over him. He knows that he can't let him get away this time. It's much closer than before, but now we get racing once again. And it's much closer between Miguel and Shane, but obviously it's still going to be him in the lead of the race. Meanwhile, Joseph Wright trying to go at the inside of Toby Cadera, going into turn number 1. Just trying to put his nose in front into turn 2. That's not going to work. Instead, we will see everyone else trying to get around at the moment. Clean start now. Jamie Brooks moves up ahead of Ryan Seltzer. Now we're sitting up between Sam Carmichael and obviously Ken Hunter as well. That's going to be turn number 3 now. Race leaders all carrying on. And Summonak has got ahead of Toby Cadera, who now has got Halili all over him. Ada Sinter has a great run over the line, and it's going to take 3 drivers almost in the space of 1 or 3 positions in the space of 1 corner. That's how well it's going. But Miguel Munoz 0.6 seconds now ahead of Shane Burke. On him down in 3rd place. 4th place is Joseph Wright. So, not a bad start. Better than we saw last time, but the midfield battle looking very close indeed. Toby Cadera, the cork in the bottle. We've got Samanak who's going around the outside of Sintez. And oh, we've got a bit of a collision in the back. Who's that gone off? That's Matt Legale, who's gone off at the same place that Scott Dixon did in the real Indy 500. He's lost his rear wing up at pit entry. So as we go, caution again. Matt Legale is going to carry on. The car's crabbing like mad. And as he comes into the pits, I'm going to reassess what happened. He goes on the inside and oh, so Darrell Russell just turns in and doesn't quite anticipate where Matt Legale is, which is a shame really. Just makes contact, which spins Matt Legale round and hits the back end of the car, which has significantly damaged the rear suspension. He will carry on. In fact, I'm not sure why he didn't go into the pit lane, because he's well, he's going to have to crawl round, isn't he? Crabbing like a crab. It's awful. They're going to lap him already. So Miguel Munoz is about to come through turn number 3. It's coming through turn number 3 now. So we've had 3 racing laps so far. So let's digest them. It's been an interesting one. What have you learned from them, Peter?
I think I've learned the key to this race is to be patient, and I think maybe a few drivers are a little bit too aggressive at this stage in the race. We're only 8 laps in, and those cold tyres aren't going to heat up while you're going this quickly, so they need to be a bit more patient, I'd say. Toby Cadera really was getting caught up in that. He was down to 8th or 9th at one point. He's got back up to 6th place now. But that midfield battle is where it's all happening. The top 3 sort of made a progressive gap over those 2 laps that we had running, but 2 laps running is all we had. I think we need to get a few more under our belt before drivers can really start attacking.
Well, in has come Ken Hunter, and he's been given a black flag, so according to his dash, so he's out of this race. So Ken Hunter, we are down to 17, with Matt Legale now coming into the pit lane to finally take his pit stop to get the car fixed. Only cost him a lap, of course, due to the damage he sustained, and of course the pits weren't open as Miguel Munoz comes through turn number 3 once again. So down to 17 already, with an 8th of the race completed. So that's the only consolation we can take, as we are getting through the laps, just not under racing conditions. So whilst obviously we want to see the racing as much as possible, the issue is we're just having to get these laps done now.
Yeah, it might be, and all the while that they're not using as much fuel, not using as much tyres, is less fuel stops and less pit stops. So it might be that we only have 1 or 2 pit stops instead of the scheduled 3 or 4 that the drivers were planning. So it's all going to play into the strategy here, and it might not be now, but come lap 20, lap 25, when we're maybe behind the safety car again, that is when drivers will want to be pitting.
Well, as we carry on in the race, Matt Legale, of course, has gone a lap down, car getting fixed. Hopefully he can regain that lap. It would be good to see him out there running very well indeed. Just about trying to get his car restarted. So we sit waiting for the car to get restarted and back underway. We will see, and hopefully it'll be a great restart for him, because Matt has shown some great pace in the last few meetings as well. So
here we are on board the number 16 of myself, Joseph. Right, we're gonna
issues, however. We will wait to see exactly what will happen. over the line the guys come again. Hopefully this will be the last of the laps under the safety car. At Race Department on Facebook and on Twitter, hashtag RDGPC. It'll be the last lap, there we go. So, we'll be going underway. In just a few moments' time. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this race will pan out to. So as they now make their way around the latter half of the circuit, Matt Legale running his, I believe it's his brother Steve through. So they are running at the back of the grid. Of course, Matt is a few laps down compared to Steve. Miguel, we're getting ready for a racing start, or a racing restart. And Shane, he's going to close in, isn't he? You think he's going to have to try everything to try and get past?
Very true. Now, the best chance to get past is the restart. This is going to be as close as he's going to get going down towards turn 1. So, getting close now and getting a good run down towards turn 1 might be the most risky, but it might pay off the most reward as they get ready to go green.
Here we go then. So, Miguel will start. He puts his foot down and Shane is following. He's closer than he was last time, as they come over the line now to start the next couple of laps. Miguel has got a decent restart. Aita Sintez though is looking feisty for 4th place compared to everyone else. The rest of the pack stream through the next couple of corners, turn number 2 as well. Everyone getting underway cleanly, so that's what we want to see. That's good to see as well. And Shane Burke's now having to defend from Ollie McGowan. Again, we said he was looking very competitive throughout the rest of the week in testing, and Ollie will definitely be smelling blood. He definitely wants to try and get through. So over the line, Miguel has got a lead of 0.8 of a second. Definitely enough to try and break the toe. As into the pit lane has come, not sure who that is. Is that
It is Sherwin van der Sloot.
It is Sherwin van der Sloot. That's going to put him out of positions for the points. And this is a real shake of the dice. Is this an alternate pit strategy? He's got a black flag, so coming in for a stop and go penalty, I assume. I'm not entirely sure what that was for.
Yeah. Maybe it can't be a pit stop this early on.
It's
Surely
not, it's a stop and go, and it's
it is a stop and go.
It's cost him the lead lap. So all of a
the
sudden,
lead lap, so I'm just trying to work out what that might be for. Possibly overtaking under yellow.
It could be, we'll have to find out shortly, but this is putting him off the lead lap and down into 16th position. That's not going to give him enough points, I don't think, to take the championship.
No, we'll have to have a work out of it, but I'm looking at about the 4th position between Joseph Wright and Aita Sintez. Joseph moved up on the first restart, passing Toby Kederer, and now he's in 4th position, but he's got a challenge from Aita Sintez behind, going down the start-finish straight, down to turn number 1 in the slipstream. Sintez moves to the outside line. He's not going to go around the outside, is he? He tries it, but he's going to have to go back into line.
Yeah, the high lines sometimes work. It depends how far up you can nose your way through. And Joseph, who's putting his muscles out a little bit, he's showing he's not going to be tempted into making a mistake. But Aita can, as we say, he can smell the position, and he's definitely trying to attack. It's a very difficult place to overtake here in Indianapolis, so you've sometimes got to be a little bit patient. As you suggested earlier on the broadcast, you've just got to make sure that you can do things cleanly and fairly, and that will be how the race can be won. But Miguel is currently sat in the lead of the race, 1.1 seconds now. His gap ahead of Shane. Ollie McGowan is closing in.
Sherwin van der Sloot's out.
And Sherwin van der Sloot is out of the race. Oh my goodness me! This is massive. He's touched the wall, I believe. Oh, it seems, looking at the replay, Lag. I believe that could have been a lag incident. What a shame, because that's really going to determine the championship. Right, so Peter, now I'm going to have to task you with trying to figure out who could take it away from Charles Baccio then.
Well, the next driver who's in is Steve Legale, and Steve Legale is currently in 13th position, so...
How many points behind is Steve, though?
Steve is 48 behind, so he needs 49 to win the championship.
All of a sudden, this has taken a completely new context, and Steve Legale is certainly in no man's land, it's fair to say, in 13th place, with Matt behind him, of course not on the same lap, acting as a bit of a buffer. So Steve, I'm sure, can start slowly picking up places, but this has really changed everything. Toby Cadera, sat in 6th place at the moment, can see 5th. Aita Sintes, who was attacking Joseph Wright just a few laps ago, and we saw that even if you start attacking someone, it can very quickly flip and reverse, and you can change your position. So as they make their way now up towards turn 3, and Toby is closing in on Aita for 5th place, so what was the battle for 4th is now the battle for 5th. It's incredible how the complex of the race can change just so quickly and so dramatically.
It's very true. He's now on the back foot because he's got Cadera all over the back of him, but now the gap seems to have sort of evened themselves out. They're about half a second between each of them, and the same at the front, it's about a second between first and second, and then between second and third, so perhaps the drivers into their rhythm now and happy with their positions going forward to the pit stops, and we're nearly a quarter of the way through this race already. It's flown by when it's at green flag racing, we're going 220 mile an hour.
As you say, a quarter of this race through, and Miguel Munoz leads the race ahead of Shane Burke and Oliver Down, with our prime championship contender Sherwin van der Sloot no longer partaking in this race out, and that really shakes everything up. Steve Legale, we've got a battle for P11, I'm being told. Sam Carmichael, who is doing quite well, I believe, on his first appearance in the championship, and has got Ryan Seltzer behind him. So the battle between number 9 and number 35, and Ryan Seltzer on in the 35. He's trying to close into Sam Carmichael. It's not doing too much at the moment, but he's giving it the best shot. And I'll tell you what, it's looking another fascinating battle. And here we go, the battle for 5th and 6th has closed in. Toby's finally got the bit between his team and is catching. He's in the toe of Aita Sintes. And Aita is in that awful position. He's not even in a position to attack anymore. He purely has to think about making sure that Toby does not get any closer whatsoever. And Toby's going to be struggling with the just aero push, and he goes very wide through turn 3. The aero push around here is such a difficult consideration because you're so
this has left him on the back foot now.
Oh yes, of course it has.
Down the centre. Up the inside and through before turn 1. Completely
unawares to me. Literally, that's how much it goes. If you push that a little bit too hard and go wide, someone will sneak through, and Stander is looking incredibly racy. He's closing in all the way to Aita Sintes very quickly indeed. So was 7th just a moment ago, could be 5th by the end of the lap. That's how quickly things can change around here.
Yeah, one lap and he's gone from 7th and a second behind Tess to right behind him in a lap, in the space of a lap. So that is how quickly it can change and how much mistakes we punish around here. It's all about the momentum on that top speed. As behind we've got a battle for 9th position. Cernak defending from Darrell Russell, and Darrell Russell's going to go around the outside.
Oh, and they make
very
contact.
Close. Wow, how did Darrell Russell save that? I do not. In fact, it's Cernak who saved it. Russell went around the outside. Cernak there as well as Khalili goes through. Khalili up into 9th position.
So yes, as you say, Khalili up into 9th place, could take 8th place in just a moment's time as well. Coming through turns 3 and 4, the inside line, the low line is going to struggle a little bit again. He nearly gives the wall a good old kiss, which is terribly charming of him to do, but not really going to help his race whatsoever. Stander is closing in for 5th place as well. So, as we make our way now through turns 2. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? It's interesting to watch how this race is progressing.
Yeah, and it's very different to road racing, because we're used to the road type racing where it's moves on the brakes or moves in the corners. Here it's moves where capitalising from a tiny mistake that's going to penalise someone for the next 4 or 5 miles of racing. So it's very interesting to see how the difference is between this and the racing I'm particularly more used to in the roads. So
into the pits for
Jamie Brooks.
Yes, I do apologise for cussing you there, Peter. Do finish.
That's no problem. The other thing I was about to say is Ryan Seltz from Sam Carmichael, close once again. And been quite consistent on the road courses. It's the ovals where he's suffered most. The Lausitz Ring 18th position. And here, similarly, not faring so well after a 3rd, 6th and a 4th on the road courses we've had.
But takes 11th place.
Now.
Yeah, moves up 11th place ahead of Sam Carmichael. But Sam can see him. He's really giving it some go. He moves to the left-hand side and is going to try and retake his position back over the line. What's the gap going to be? It's going to be barely anything. 0.0 goes to the low line through turn 1. A little bit of understeer for the pair of them. The cutback nearly worked for Ryan. So one went one way, one went the other. They went the other way again. And Sam Carmichael, after all of that, does retake 11th place. Ryan's not going to be too pleased with that though, is he?
No, but I think it's going to be what is expected, because you'd expect the immediate fight back to be the most effective cause of overtaking and defending. And that's exactly what Sam Carmichael did. It's very close up further up between Darrell Russell and Kreshnik Lilly. In fact, no, it's not. It looks very close, but 3/10 on the road is about 200 metres, so what I thought was close is not actually as close as it is. But still relatively close on course.
Relatively close, it is closing in, and we will keep an eye on all the battles as we are in the finale of the Race Farming Grand Prix Championship. Sam Carmichael now back down to 12th place. Ryan Seltzer has retaken the position, and in fact it looks like he's going to hold on to it this time, but they've got Jamie Brooks, blue flags for him, just coming through turn 4. Traffic's going to be a bit of a struggle, I suppose, around here, but Jamie gives the wall a good nudge as he let them through. So Miguel still in the lead, and Shane Burke is closing in. The gap is much lesser compared to what it was a few laps ago. It's now only half a second between the pair of them, coming through turn number 4 for lap 29, or start lap 29 out of 80, so nearly 30 laps completed. After those 2 initial safety cars, we've had around about 16. I do apologise. We've had around 16-17 laps of racing completed, so going rather well, I'd say.
And Sintez and Senau very close again. Senau looking to the outside. Standard Senau attacking 8 Sintez as they go into towards turn number 3. Senau is going to be forced to the high line around Sintez. Got to watch it and watch the aero push, see if it turns him wide. It doesn't. It does a bit, but he's going to keep it there, and he's going to keep it. He's going to go all the way around the outside and keep the position.
It does. What a great move around that. As back into the pit lane has come Jamie Brooks. So that touch with the wall, maybe giving him more damage than he'd like to admit.
Joey van der Sloot's back on circuit.
Joey's back on. Okay.
So it's the championship back on. It's 17th place, enough for 42 points.
Well, we'll have to go and look in a minute, but 17 laps down is not going to be good. We've still got that great battle between Toby Cadera and Aita Sintez. Aita's run out wide. He's really struggling. He's a good 10 or 12 miles an hour down on what you'd expect through turn number, obviously coming through turn number 3. He tried, but it didn't quite work.
And I have just had a quick check, and 17th position would be 26 points, so it wouldn't be enough. At this current stage, you'd need 9th position in order to get the championship win.
But he's 15 laps down. This is the issue.
Yeah.
Now in for Steve Legale as well. Jamie Crooks has been sat in his pit box for a little while, but Steve Legale is rolling through the pit lane very slowly. And Shane Burke is closing in for the lead of the race. Meanwhile, that battle for 6th was sorted, of course. 8th has down into 7th, 6th for Toby Cadera. Darren Russell 8th, 9th place for Kresnik Khalili, who does look like he's trying to close in on Daryl. Matej Storanak in 10th place, 11th for Sam Carmichael. Ryan Seltzer still 12th, that battle still going on. The gap's extended just a little bit compared to what it was earlier on. But
and I think now this is going to be the time where we're going to see pit stops. We were told pre-race that it'd be around 3 or 4, so... Oh, and P1's on battle, and Shane Burke will be inside.
Through. He's caught the traffic. He's caught the traffic. What's happening here? Matt Legale moves to driver's right-hand side. Miguel slows up, and Shane Burke, who's got a much better run, goes straight up the inside into turn number 1. Emphatic move for the race lead, but with more traffic, Shane's going to have to deal with this in much the same way that Miguel did a few moments ago. But Shane is looking good so far. He's created out a gap of 0.5, 0.6 of a second maybe. So as they both pair over the line now, and definitely Shane Burke has taken the lead of the Indianapolis race, the finale here for the Race Department Grand Prix Championship, and getting onto the grass. But Miguel, I can only imagine how brown his trousers are after that, and again he gets into the grass. He's really trying, he's absolutely livid in that car, but Miguel, you cannot do that. The more you start to really overthink, the more you start to panic and stuff like that, you're only going to lose more and more time. You do not want to be risking it at this early stage of the race. We are getting near to half distance, but that's only near, that's not at half distance. Don't throw it off now. You've still got plenty of racing time to get back into it.
That is the thing, that is exactly what I was about to say. So you've got 44 laps to go, 45 laps to go. So a long way to go before the end of the race, and if we have no more cautions, that gap of 1 second is easily recoverable if he concentrates, gets his head down, gets a bit lucky with slipstream. I think that's easily going to come down again. This Shane managed it from before, so it's possible that he can as well.
Well, certainly, thank you very much, Peter. That is a great point. And also, 11th place is looking very nicely, I would suggest, between Sam Carmichael and myself once again. This has been one of my battles in the race. I think you'd agree with me as well, Peter. It's definitely one of the battles of the race so far. It's just been a thoroughly entertaining one to watch, the way that they can sort of go at it for so long.
Yeah, 35 laps in and they're still battling like this, and it's only good things to come for the future. As Seltzer once again in the tow, going to come down towards turn number 1 once again, but not able to get through this time round, and I think tyres will be starting to suffer a little bit now as well, so these are all things that the drivers are going to be thinking about, and more things that could go wrong.
And I'm quite happy to suggest that we've got Alain Mervold who's come to join us in.
Yeah, good evening, good evening.
Good evening. Strategy, something you're an expert in.
Yeah.
What are you expecting from some of the leaders?
That they should pick within 3 or 4 laps, I think. They were able to drive 38 laps on a full tank without any yellows. And depending on how much fuel they've saved during the yellows and during the slipstream, I think they should pick within the next 3 or 4 laps. So it's effectively a one-stop race at the moment.
I was just about to say, if they can push it to a little bit longer, how much does it affect you by turning down the boost levels?
The thing is, it doesn't affect you too much really until you put it down to boost level 1, but at the same time it doesn't save much fuel either. So basically all the fuel saving you have to do is doing a safety car, or if you are slipstreaming someone and drive on half throttle.
And what do you... Oh, sorry.
I'm slightly surprised that Shane decided to go past Miguel for the lead. I would actually expect him to just stay behind and save fuel to go much longer. In case of a yellow flag at lap 41, then you're in real trouble if you pitted on lap 40.
Well, of course, Miguel has struggled over the last 5 laps or so. He's just lost his pace. What do you expect? Could that be the tyres finally sort of getting overheated, or?
Yeah, maybe overheating tires, but also he might have turned it down to boost level 2 or engine mix speed 2. And he doesn't lose too much on it, but he might try to stretch it a couple more laps on cue. Maybe to have a shorter stop as well at the end.
And in now comes Miguel Munoz at the half distance. So our former race leader, the man in second place, elects to take his stop now. And with a gamble, this could be pushing it right until the very end of the race. So first of the people to pit from the overall race queue. So it's going to be an interesting one to see just how long you can go on that and how well the tyres will hold up.
And I think the only thing is he's going to be hoping for a safety car or two in the second half of this race in order to get to the 40 laps, because if I'm correct from what Ollie's been saying, it's not possible to make the 40 laps even on the lowest level of boost. So I think without a safety car it's going to be very difficult for him to one stop this race. But for like Shane Burke, who may go to lap 41 or 42, who has actually just come out alongside Miguel, in fact
and
just behind him,
just
and
about
there's
to
a
lap
yellow.
him now, isn't he?
So
And a yellow flag.
Kresnik Halili off
Oh my
at the
goodness!
circuit.
Is that coming through turn number 4? Actually, I see what's happened. He's lost it. He's lost it. Going into the pit lane. Yeah, he's over-revved the car, which has caused a yellow. Which is this genius by Miguel, or is this a shame for Shane?
I presume the pit lane will stay open.
no,
Hey,
the pit lane is closed at the moment. Pit lane is closed at the moment.
But this means he'll get his lap back.
Yeah, Miguel is not a lap behind, so he'll probably join at the end of the queue. Should be able to.
Yes, but my point is, will Shane be able to pit now for fresh fuel and tyres?
Yeah, the pit
I
should
presume
open
so.
for cars in the lead lap when they come around turn 4 now.
Well,
It
he's
should. And also, Aitor Sintes has retired. He crashed at the start-finish line when the yellow was strong.
oh goodness, Ater, poor Ater. That was he was running well. So that could be another. He had contacts going. Him and Toby Cadera, I'm not entirely sure what's happened there. Was that a miscommunication? He went to drive his left-hand side. Toby moves left. They sort of go into the wall, pushes him. Tyres go off, and that put paid to him. But look, we've got Avon
And
coming into the
Cadera's
pit
in
lane
as well.
now. Yeah, so
Cadera's
Shane.
out.
Yes, they had contacts, as I just mentioned a moment ago.
Oh, okay.
So, Shane Burke in. We've obviously got Shane in. Ollie McGowan has come in. We've got Joseph Wright in. That's one of the Legales who's coming as well. Sandra Senhall's in. Halili's in. And also, Sumanak are into the pit lane. What I thought was interesting is the fact they're still then locking up going into the pit lane entry. So that's what caused the safety car. So it's, would you really risk it? Out goes Shane, and Joseph Wright has jumped it into second place in this queue. Shane,
Yeah, ahead of Ollie McGowan.
ahead of Ollie McGowan, so he's actually made up 2 positions, isn't he? Because he was 4th on the road earlier on, and now moves up into second place. So not a bad piece of strategy there from Joseph.
Yeah, and Miguel is
And
in the pits
Muniz is
again.
in. So Miguel Muniz, our previous race leader who lost it to Shane Burke, then pitted just prior to the safety car, is now back into the pit lane. So perhaps is this going to be a splash and dash in order to make it to the end?
Well, he's going to lose the lap again as Ryan Seltzer leaves the pit lane. Munoz and obviously Sam Carmichael also into the pit lane. But as he suggests, it's an interesting decision because it might just be that splash and dash, but it's going to cost him another lap. So he is going to go back to a lap down.
And Joseph Wright now leads. I presume Shane Burke has dropped back for some reason.
Thierry Demmer is coming into the pit lane, and
Shane Burke does go back to front.
Yeah, so, yeah, Thierry Bedema is coming into the pit lane. But Shane Berg is about to retake the lead of the race, as I believe we are about to go green. It's side by side between him and Joseph Wright up towards the line. And we are still under caution, so not entirely sure why Joseph was going straight up the inside. They are still under full course caution.
Yeah,
Catching up to the safety car
game
queue.
the game is figuring out where to place the different drivers. As at the moment, it's Matt Legale who is behind the safety car.
Yeah,
Well,
he's behind his father, Steve. Steve's heading the queue at the moment, I believe. In fact, no, Matt is heading the queue from his father.
Yeah, it's Matt and then Steve. So, son ahead of father. Only in the queue, of course, our race leader has got lots of traffic ahead of him, and Joseph Wright. You know what? I think Joseph will be smiling in that part because if he can get a decent result and he stay patient, he can get the. He can really attack the back of that Syntec car. He could get a good result, and I think that's what's going to be critical as we continue out under the safety car.
Yeah, I think the safety car would be a lap or two longer than usual now because all the lap cars and the game just figuring out.
Miguel is back in again. Black flag, so overtaking in the safety car, speeding in the pit lane. Maybe that's what the issues are. Either way,
I think one of the two.
No, he's having a bit of a mare ever since he.
Yeah. Also, Darrell Russell is a bit unlucky here because he's on the lead lap, but because there are 3 lap cars ahead of him, that's behind the safety car. He is effectively 1 lap behind. In 10th place there.
Yeah, it's also very true. So
he's quite unlucky with pitting at the moment the yellow came out.
And it's still telling him it's got a black flag according to his dash. So, I'm still not sure what the problem is. We'll have to find out in a moment. But, in all of this, we are going green again then, so the traffic ahead of us will be the traffic. Sherwin van der Sloot is behind Steve the Galley, Matt the Galley. Shane Berg in first place on the road, or first place in the race lead, not first on the road. It's got Joseph right behind him, and Oliver Gown in 3rd place. It's going to be quite an interesting little battle. As we are about to get underway, the safety car peels back in. We go green here for the finale. Shane Berg leaves himself enough room to try and make it up on the traffic, and Joseph Wright's been pushed back into the clutches of Oliver Gown. And Shane, who's going to try and go around the outside, he's got loads of traffic coming through turn 1. This must be an absolutely awful feeling, as you've got to really get past these people. You've got to attack them in a little bit of contact. That's really going to risk it for these guys. Joseph Wright's brought up to the back. He's going to go to the driver in the middle of the two. He's got light traffic to his right. Almost
who's this coming
wide.
through the middle? Senhal coming through the middle.
Senhal coming through the middle. He's
And he's going to go
almost
for the
through.
inside. Oh, he's going to go for the inside.
So Senhal's up into 2nd place, almost going to take the lead. Shane Berg's almost on 4th place. Down to 4th place for Molly McGowan. So this is what happens when you get traffic to interfere. Joseph Wright, what did I say? He's looking very close and currently sat in the lead of the race.
3 wide for 3rd place.
3 wide coming into turn number 1. This is not going to end very well. Luckily they do carry on and Shane does stay in 3rd place, but this is mighty heroic stuff. This is what IndyCar racing is all about, and the Race Point Grand Prix Championship is how close it is, how close you can really race the guys around you. But Joseph Wright definitely still in the lead of the race ahead of Stanton Senhal and Shane Berg, with Ollie McGowan, Maciej Sumanak, Ryan Seltzer, Miguel Munoz, Sam Carmichael, Thierry Bedema and Kashno Khalili in 10th place. That is the top 10 so far, but this is changing lap by lap by lap. So yeah, so 4th place between Ollie McGowan and Maciej Sumanak. Coming up towards turn number 2 now, and they are looking quite racy indeed, with Ryan Seltzer in 6th place.
And passed by Miguel Munoz, who's been in the pits 3 times in the last 3 laps.
And Ollie McGowan's
goes
about
through
to take, and outside to interrupt, but Ollie McGowan's about to take third place from Shane Burke. He went off the inside going into turn number 4. This is all looking rather close indeed. Joseph Wright's pretty much checked out. Only got one piece of traffic behind, in front of him, which is Sherwin van der Sloot. But as they make their way now through turn number 1, there's contact between a couple of the guys out there. You can just see the clouds of smoke, and you don't want to be seeing that, especially if it's lapped traffic compared to you on the lead lap. Shane in third place has currently still got the position, and coming in is Matt Legale. He peels off to the slip road effectively to get out of the way of these guys. Does continue on though, so with 50 laps completed already, just 30 laps left to go. Goodness me, this is going rather quickly. But now, are the race leaders with this rate of pushing, just going to have enough fuel? How are the tyres going to feel? It's going to be a nervy last portion of this race.
Yeah, it's going to be running on an oily rag at the end, I should think. Just trying to get to the end. Joseph Wright has actually been helped slightly by Sherwin van der Sloot. Possibly only very, very slightly, because he is a couple of 100 metres behind. But do is slowing up a little bit just to help him out, but Sherwin has got out the blue flag zone, I should think, by now, so he maybe now not being given the blue flag, whereas at the start I suspect that is the reason why a load of drivers were peeling off and trying to get out of the way, is because they don't obey the blue flags, they would have got a drive through.
But Stander is closing in for second place, so the race lead battle is 4 cars.
And another yellow.
And another caution. Okay, so the caution flag is now out off at turn 1. Goes up the inside of Miguel Munoz coming into turn number 1. What's happened here? Oh, there's a bit of contact. Turn to 1 doesn't go. The front end washes out and there's a big piece of contact going into turn 1. Just evaluating the footage, is Darrell is on the left hand side as much as he can go. Miguel maybe doesn't anticipate just how close it is. He turns in, and of course by the time you turn it at that kind of speed you can't back out of it, and Darrell with contact is basically spinning out backwards, and front end washes out into the front of the rear, and it in fact puts him out of the race. But this is going to help Joseph Wright, this is going to help everyone with the temperatures and all that, but this is really going to benefit everyone else behind him, who can now close back in once again. What did we say? Got to be patient, you'll get somewhere.
Yeah, and that is exactly what Joseph Wright has done. He started 6th or 7th position on the grid, but got up to 4th early on before the first safety car. Kept him 4th through to the 2nd safety car, and then worked his way through. And that pit stop, he managed to get up to 2nd, and then 1st position on the restart there. So just being patient and working your way through where you can has been the key for Joseph Wright so far. But as you say, backed up again this field, and going to be coming around again to meet the safety car.
And of course Shane Burke still sat in 3rd place. Is it going to be Stander Senhall's turn to take the lead of the race? I imagine it will, because it's fascinating how this has all been developing, because we saw at one point one thing and then everything else has flipped on its head and changed again. So we are it's a rather bit of a challenge to try and cover this race, purely because it's all changing around us. So I think what we should do is quickly go through the order of the race so far, and of course it is Joseph Wright, 70 or 53 laps completed after the 80 laps, is currently sat ahead of Stander Senhall and Shane Burke, with Ollie McGowan, Majek Soranak and Miguel Munoz in the top 6. Ryan Seltzer, Sam Carmichael, Thierry Fedema, and Kreshnik Khalili round out the top 10 with Steve Legale, Matt Legale and Sherwin van der Sloot, the rest of the runners. And Sherwin, in fact, no front wing, is back into the pit lane. So everyone's trying to catch up to the safety car, and the pace is ramping up once again, which is not going to be helping stuff like the fuel burn, the tyres. So,
not at all.
Yeah, but now that they back off again, that might help again. So it's just a case of being patient enough to try and really catch up, but also just trying to catch up in general.
Yeah, it's that fine balance of not losing too much heat, but still staying, still being able to have enough so you don't spin on the restart, as we've seen the first restart and the first start in general. Just having a look through, and Joseph Wright currently sits 13th in the order at the moment going into this round, 83 points behind our championship leader Charles Baccio. Now if he stays where he is, that's 100 points, so theoretically, and not accounting for anyone else who may score more points behind him, Joseph could win the championship if he stays where he is right now.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Very much so.
So, 54 out of the 80 laps completed. So that is 25 to go. We've not had that much green running so far in this second portion of the race. We had a great run in the middle, and now it's all sort of calamitied itself effectively again. Which is... It's going to be an interesting one to see where these final laps take us.
Yeah.
I am
also,
surprised, however. Go ahead.
Miguel has gotten rid of his black flag on his dash, on his wheel. So that looks fine.
So there we go then. Miguel will carry on, and hopefully we'll be getting underway at the end of this lap or at the end of the next lap.
I would think the end of the next lap is the black.
I was about to say I'm surprised that the leaders haven't pitted now. If fuel is marginal, it may be sensible to pit now, and while you may lose track position, you may be able to get to the end.
I think this safety car is helping. If they run with mixture 1 this lap, or these 2 laps, that will give them around an extra lap. So I think that will be just about enough.
So
okay, so maybe marginal, but should be able to make it to the end, I should think.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's interesting though, is that Joseph Wright is sat in 6th gear, pulling about 4,500 revs, while Sandra Sennels currently sat in 2nd gear doing 8.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, that might be Joseph have underfueled his car because his pit stop was a bit faster than the ones around.
But he did manage to jump a couple of people, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's 7th floor, he does try and risk it occasionally.
Well, he's also said that he's really aiming to get into the top 10 overall. And he wants a good result here, so he might actually risk it a bit.
Well, the risk seems to have paid off at the moment, leading on the road. Sorry, not on the road, but leading the race at the moment.
Yeah, and also with Sherwin rejoining and people retiring now, if Sherwin does 10 more laps, he's 13th in the race. That helps us as well with some points.
But will that give him enough points?
Depending on everyone else, then I guess.
Because that is the general consensus. Is will the drivers who are not championship regulars, will they still be scoring points here? I presume they will be towards their championship. I presume they're not just guest drivers who aren't scoring at all. I presume they still account.
Yeah, they do score in the race.
And we're going green.
We are getting underway then, as you say. Matt Legale leads the field away, not overall, but this big pack of 5 guys behind gets a good jump, and Sandra Sennel gets a fantastic start and belts his way into the lead of the race with Shane Burke getting up into 2nd place. Joseph Wright's been caught with his punch down. He's now down into 3rd and 4th place, with Majek Suanak now moving up into 3rd place. Oh, Joseph, I feel so sorry for you. You just didn't react quick enough. Stanger was off the line like a scolded cat, but Shane Burke's definitely going to come back up towards it. He moves to the inside line, the low line, coming through turn number 3. He retakes the lead, so Shane Burke back into the lead of the finale here on the Race Department Grand Prix Championship, with Majek Suanak in 3rd place, but Joseph Wright, seemingly awoken, has now retaken 3rd place.
Yeah, Suanak was on the grass going through turn 4, and that's what allowed Joseph Wright to go through. Surprised Ollie McGowan didn't get through as well, but Suanak did well to keep that pace up.
Just touched the wall as well, didn't he?
Yeah, it looked like he just brushed the wall. It didn't affect him too much, but it might be Ollie McGowan who's under pressure now. Sam Carmichael behind him, and also Who is that as well? I think that's
Oh,
a
and they make
car.
contact between Sam Carmichael, who just meets it. What a great save from the Perlin, though.
Yeah,
And there's more
more
contact with Sam, with Halili. Unfortunately, again, he does keep it on. Car not quite pointing straight, it looks like.
And Miguel Muniz going for the inside.
Now finding the
As well.
concrete. He found the concrete in the wall as well, so certainly pushing as hard as he can, but that might be a risk too many for him. Because Ryan Seltzer's behind them as well.
I'm surprised that Halili's getting involved in this battle. He is a lap down, so you'd think that he'd be backing off from this battle just to stay safe, but obviously wanting all the points he can get, trying to move up and not wanting to fall back from that battle. And Shane Burke's pulled out a lead here, it's 8 tenths at the moment. So now second, Joseph Wright third, which wouldn't give him enough points. Had a quick look at the championship. With 83 points, third position would give me 70, so he needs to finish at least second in order to take the championship lead and overall win the championship.
And there we go, we'll keep an eye on the championship as it goes along. The battle for fourth place, the closest so far, with Sonac between fourth place at the moment. And
Muniz up the inside, into
trying to
turn
go up the
number 3
inside.
on the grass.
Just for sixth place ahead of Sam Carmichael, but Sam does carry on.
Goes round the outside as he got the speed onto the straight. I believe
Not,
yes, Muniz
no,
has
Sam's
to go
going
back
to keep it,
into.
isn't he? And another
Yes.
black flag on his dash for Miguel.
Wow.
As he
That
comes
could
up
be
the
his fourth and
inside,
fifth.
turn 1, he moves up the inside, so Miguel does retake the position. And Sam can't do anything for that, so up into 6th he goes.
But Sam's looking to attack again. Down into turn number 3. Is he close enough? No, he's not. He's going to stay behind for the moment.
Somanak's gone very deep into turn number 3 though, and Ollie McDowell is closing up exponentially through turn 4. A lot smoother, is really going to give him a lot more pace down the main start-finish line. And Ollie in 5th, he doesn't want 5th anymore, he's going for 4th. Trying the high line to go to the low line through turn number 1. This is what happens. Just look at Somanak. His tyres must be shot or something because he's just getting boatloads of understeer. That car just does not want to respond in the way that it's being told to. And Ollie, who can sense this, really can understand and is really going as hard as he can. As we say that, Ollie now trying to go up the inside, coming into turn number 4. Anything happen? Not quite. It's also interesting, we've got Daryl Russell who's come to join us in the commentary booth. So, welcome Daryl. But nonetheless, and there's contact between McGowan and Muniz. Muniz and and McGowan. Big way into the barrier. Who does carry on, I suspect.
I did also see a rear wing go away. Don't know who that was.
Was that
Ollie McGowan, front wing.
No, Ollie McGowan's got his front wing. So, Ollie McGowan's front wing's the one that's gone off. We'll have to find out whose rear wing that was then.
I believe it's... No, it's not Muniz.
No, Muniz has still got it, but he is into the pit lane, so... And I think it's because, look at the way he's stopping, it must be for speeding in the pit lane. Because he's just he's not hitting the mark properly. Effectively, because he comes in and he's still slowing by the time he's in the pit lane, so he's obviously not noticed that the pit marker doesn't start where he thinks it is, it's earlier on. That's what's giving all these penalties, I suspect.
And safety car.
We have gone for caution with...
Which will make it very interesting, because we'll have the last 10 laps, I should think now, of flat-out racing.
We are looking to see what's happened. I'm not sure why we've gone to caution. We'll let you know as soon as we can. So we will find out in a moment. But lap 65 out of 80, it's breezing past.
Of course, all these safety cars aren't helping Sherwin van der Sloot's efforts to get up the field either.
Yeah.
Because he's still got 2 or 3 laps before he overtakes Darrell Russell for 13th, and then he's got another 10 to overtake Matt Legale for 12th. And if he does finish in 12th position, that will not be enough 36 points. He's got to get 42, so he's going to be hoping for another few drivers to retire, I should think, Sherwin.
But of course,
a chance at the win.
So that's if he moves back up to 12th place. Because
yes, that's correct.
Yes.
Because unless drivers go out between the last few next, as Shane Burke, does he? I thought he was going to go to pit lane. That's faking it.
Yes, I think that's a common line they do. If you notice, coming out turn 4, they move to the left-hand side, and then I think that's just a racing line they elect to take. I'm not entirely sure why, but
2 drivers into the pit lane, Lee McGowan and Steve Legale.
Yeah, of course, that was due to the damage he had a few laps ago, which was just before the safety car came out, so obviously that's understandable. And Steve Legale coming through and finishes the drive-through, so I think it could have been a drive-through penalty, I'm not entirely sure, but we will so get our way. But we've got, what, 14 laps left to run. This has gone really rather quickly, and it's going to be an interesting end to the race, a great end to the race.
Yeah, it's going to be whether Joseph Wright, if he gets up to 2nd position, he has, and finishes there, he's won the championship. So that is what we're going to be watching for. In fact, no, he's not, because he's got to get 83 points, doesn't he? Not 80. So he's got to win. It's either win or bin for Joseph Wright.
So Joseph, who currently sits in 3rd place. This is all rather tasty here. Let's just not. Let's just see how the racing takes us, how the wind takes us, because it will take us in a direction we don't expect.
It's very true. And 2 more drivers into the pit lane. That's Matt Legale, I believe.
And Sherwin.
No, it's Steve Legale once again. It's Sherwin Vandersloot. Presumably Steve wanted to take his short pit stop and then had to take his drive-through.
Essentially.
And is Steve Legale out? I do not see his car anymore.
Yes, he is no longer on his box, according to my screen. So we'll find him in a moment. Matt Legale is no longer circulating either, so Sherwin moves up to 13. And yeah, Steve Legale back in his pit box, or back in the garage effectively. So Sherwin is in 13th and is 9 laps down. 8 laps down on Matt Legale and 10 laps down on Steve. So could, at the end of the race, if we take 11th place, would that be enough for Sherwin to take the points he needs?
No, he'd only get 38, which he needs 42. The other driver that we've not really paid attention to is Ryan Seltzer. 6th position at the moment in the race. Currently sitting 7th in the championship, 62 points behind, so he needs 4th position and 64 points to win the championship. So,
which is doable.
Yeah, he's only got 2 positions to make up, so a few risky moves and he's there.
And of course, with 12 laps left to run in this race, it's going to be tight, but we will find out what happens, and it will be a fascinating thing to see. As you say, the finale here in the Race Department Grand Prix Championship, round 5 at the Indianapolis, the Oval Circuit. 80 laps we started out with, 68 completed, and with myself, Damar and Peter Lee alongside me, bringing you the action as it's been happening. Not long left to go. Hashtag RDGPC on Twitter and on Facebook at Race Department. Do get in touch with us through the levels. Do say if you're enjoying the race, we'd love to know if you guys are out there, but we will wait and see just how the world takes us, how the wind takes us. and we are going to enjoy another good fun, I suspect. Shane Burke darting from left to right as they make their way through turn number 4.
And I believe it was a disconnection for Steve Legale. He's now back in the race and leaving the pit lane.
And there we go then. So we will see in just a moment's time as we go on to another lap. So on to lap number 69 of the race. And the drivers do continue on, trying to get that temperature into the tyres. You can see weaving left and right. So the safety car will be at the end of this lap, hopefully. But I'll tell you what's been interesting is the fact that they're doing fuel saving now, so hopefully they should have enough to go to the end of the race. But with Ole coming to rejoin us for the final portion of the race, they should have enough fuel to get us to the end of the race. But is it going to be touch and go even from here?
No, it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. But if people haven't mapped the mixture changing on the steering wheel, they might be in trouble anyway. That might also be the case why Miguel pitted during the safety car, and pitted as early because he might be on mixture 8 all the time, which is less than ideal.
And there we go then. So with the safety car to come in at the end of this lap, just moments away then, and we will find out what will happen in the race.
It's all about Joseph Wright and Brian Seltzer, I think, at the start, if they can make up those few positions that they need.
It is. Joseph has got the fire in him. I can sense that as he goes side by side with Sandra. That's a little bit naughty, but as they come up towards the line now, Shane Burke's got a laps car ahead of them. They almost make contact as they go 3 wide up towards turn 1. Once again, 10 laps left to go, and Joseph Wright down into 6th place. 5th place for Ryan Seltzer now. He's got Sam Carmichael ahead of him before. So this is certainly going to be interesting because Ryan is on the cusp. He's closing in. He's got Joseph Wright now, who's heading up towards turn number 3 ahead of him. Stan Senel, who is currently in 2nd place, 3rd place for Sam Carmichael now, who's moved around the outside of Summernack. And Joseph Wright is about to take 4th place as well, or yeah, 4th place away from Summernack, who now guides into the pit lane. So remove him out of the equation. Joseph Wright bangs his wheel off the wall, and Ryan Seltzer is up into 4th place. Should this be enough around the outside coming through turn 1?
It will be enough.
That's going to be enough. So Ryan Seltzer is just about in the right position so far, with Joseph Wright sat in 5th place, and Lilly is behind him, not battling for position, just battling for the space on the circuit, with Shane Burke a clear distance now ahead of everyone else on this final portion of the race, ahead of Stan Senel, and Sam Carmichael is in a great position in 3rd place. But can Ryan Seltzer start to close in for 4th place and see if he can really challenge for 3rd?
He's going to. He's going to. And he's going to. Is he? No.
Not
better off into turn 1 this time. And he doesn't need to. Stay here and he's there. That's all he needs.
Not into turn 1. He's got the pace. You can see he's visibly trying to make his way through. And the body language of the car is suggesting to me that, look, I know I've got enough now, but I've been battling with you all race, mate. I want to be ahead of you. So coming through turn 3 they go now. And we can see that he's being a bit more patient. He is starting to lift off coming through turn number 3 and turn number 4. Sam runs a bit deeper through turn 4, which means Ryan's going to get a good run. We saw this on the last lap, that Ryan's going to get a very good run up towards turn number 1. Can he make a move on the inside? He's going to go to the low side of the circuit. Not going to work. Sam's got it covered. He does nibble a little bit of the circuit, nibble a little bit of the apex, who then also runs deep coming through. Coming through turn number 2. Again, good on the straights. Sam better through the corners. That's what happens when you haven't got the aero push. But Sam, who is now not struggling a little bit, but he is certainly trying. He goes a bit deeper again. Ryan can sense third place, and podium overall is in his sights. He moves to the inside line. He goes through on driver's left-hand side to take third place onto the overall podium, and this definitely now should be enough points to potentially, just potentially, take the Race Department Grand Prix Championship.
Yeah, that would be 70 points, which would take him 6, in fact, no, 8 ahead of Charles Batcher.
And now Joseph Wright moved up into 4th place now ahead of Sam Carmichael. So Carmichael struggling with just 5 laps left to run here, and Sam retaking 4th and 5th place. This is looking a great battle between Sam Carmichael and Joseph Wright. Dane Burke though clear in the lead of the race. This is the tightest battle. Joseph Wright try and make a move up driver's left hand side through turn number 1. He does make it through at the end. They were going side by side and is clear through. So
Shane Burke does look like he's going to take a win here, barring mistakes in the last 5 laps.
Don't say that. The last time someone said that in a race, they fell off their bike. So yeah, so just a good shout out there to Kiko. But in all seriousness, with just a handful of laps left to go, to say a good enough gap, hopefully. But
to relax, hopefully.
Not relax, but just be a bit
ease
more
off.
patient. Yeah, ease off.
Yeah. Though sometimes when you do that, that is when the mistakes start to happen. Sometimes you can find that perfect groove that you just got to stick to. So possibly Shane in that now, and it seems with a 1.6 second lead, he's certainly doing something right.
He's getting there. We will find out in just a few moments' time. We've just got a handful of laps left to go. They've completed the 77th lap, on to lap 78. So 3 laps left to go now. Stephen Galley, as you say, he's still out there circulating, but it is Shane Burke ahead of Sander Senhall and Ryan Seltzer. So it is a 1-2 for Simtech Motorsport, with Joseph Wright in 4th place, Sam Carmichael in 5th, 6th place for Ollie McGowan, Thierry Demer currently sat in 7th with Miguel Muniz, who ran oh so well at the start of the race, in 8th place, Freshenk Lilly in 9th, 10th for Steve de Galle. Suranak currently now out of the race, I'm afraid to say, did not finish, so he will be completing no further part of the race. Sherwin Van der Sloot currently circulating around in 12th place, but Shane Burke, just a matter of moments, surely not long to go for him. It's got 2 laps, it's all you need to get him through, and it's a great race for him.
Yeah, he's been there or thereabouts throughout the entirety of the race. No mistakes, and just a clean drive to what looks like, without the commentator's curse, the win.
So, as you suggest, we then make our way very slowly now up towards turns number 1 onto the last lap. This is going to be it. Shane Burke is going to be having the biggest heartbeat in that car. He is going to be feeling every single nerve in that. And it's well deserved, I would suggest, because it's a fantastic result. He's deserved the success he's currently getting. He's doing the best he can. He's worked as hard as he can in that car. And we will see a great result in just a few moments' time. In fact, through the final corner, he moves towards the checkered flag. It's flying for him. He takes the victory. Shane Burke is a winner here in the Race Department Grand Prix Championship, with Sander Senhall to take a 1-2 for Simtech Motorsport. Ryan Seltzer, though, takes 3rd place provisionally to take the Race Department Grand Prix Championship. What a result for Ryan, who eventually finishes ahead of Joseph Wright. Sam Carmichael came over the line in 5th place, 6th for Ollie McGowan in the end, with Thierry Demer in 7th, 8th place for Miguel Muniz, Fresnay Kalani in 9th, 10th place for Steve de Galle, 12th place for Sherwin Van der Sloot, with Maciek Suranak currently in 11th. But what a great race from everyone out there. A Simtech 1-2, that definitely wasn't something I was completely expecting at the start of tonight.
No, but Simtech had 5 cars in which to do it, so they had the resources. It was just getting it done. And for Shane Burke, that is exactly what he did. He took the opportunity when he did to get to the lead, held it for the entirety of the first half, fell back in the second half slightly, but those restarts were blinding from him. The first start overall was slightly slower, but the restarts after that were absolutely blinding, and that is what got him to the lead and the win.
And as they make their way up towards the line, you can see up towards the legendary brickwork here at Indianapolis. And a few burnouts as well. A few good donuts, or a bit of a clatter into the wall there for Shane. Yeah, a bit difficult. He's certainly giving it a try, but you can see he's not.
Yeah, it's a pretty long first gear on these cars, so.
Well, we'll give it to him anyway. He's trying, and it's a great result. He's deserved it. He can try all he wants, but the Standard takes second place. And Ryan Seltzer, what a third place for him, and what a result, because that is provisionally enough to take the championship, which is a great result for a great season for him. He wasn't there. He's been there or thereabouts for most of the season, and it shows that consistency, even when you're not finishing in the top, consistency is what's going to get you there over the line in the end.
Yeah, also the first and second in this race are Indianapolis one-offs, so they had nothing to lose. They could just go for a win and don't care if they are 10th or 15th. They don't have a championship to run for, so I'm sure that helps out a little bit.
A great result. And
Shane
well
Burke,
done.
interestingly though, with that I believe will move up to 9th position in the championship with that result.
Oh, really?
Yes, considering he scored 100 points there, just on that basis. Maybe slightly different due to other drivers scoring, Gator Sintez, Matt Legale, Steve Legale, a few of those as well scoring, but thereabouts in the top 10 from one race.
A fantastic race there from everyone, and it's well deserved. At the end of the day, it's shown just how good the racing is at the race department in the Grand Prix Championship, and just generally in general here. And I would always implore anyone who's watched racing tonight and thought, "Oh, I'd like a bit of a go in that. That looks fun. I'd love to go and sign up." Well, come over to racedepartment.com. Racedepartment.com. Come and sign up. Come and do some fun races with us. You can really understand how much fun sim racing can be. And of course, Shane Burke, winner of the race department Indianapolis race, 80 laps. It was a tough one out there, and I suppose you didn't make it easy for yourself at times.
No, it was really tough. Like, to win it 2 years in a row, that's pretty awesome. I didn't think that was possible. So that, first of all, that's pretty cool. But yeah, this year setup was a lot better than last year. Last year it was trying to kill me every lap, and that was lucky. I won that race last year, just whatever. But this year it was so much more controlled, and I got to, first of all, thanks Sherwin for creating a great setup, and but yeah, the race was crazy. We were quick in clean air. We were quick behind one car, but when the safety car came out at some stage and we were behind people, car wasn't too great, and I guess we were lucky with Munoz getting, I guess he got damaged or something, because he pulled nearly 3 seconds on me the first few laps, but then I started closing in more and more past him. I was like, okay, this is great. Pulled nearly 3 seconds on him. Safety car came out. There was a huge mess with back markers, and that was kind of crazy. I thought that was the stage when I lost the race. I seen Stander, my teammate, go by me, and I was down to like third or fourth. But we knew there'd be at least one more safety car, and there was. Thankfully, worked our way back up. That last restart was kind of a little bit scary because I wanted Sandiga 1-2, and I knew he was going to be under a lot of attack from behind, so you're kind of trying to time things nicely. But then I knew Munoz behind me, even though he was a lap down, he's going to jump me at some stage, and so I was like, okay, just worry about myself. Whatever happens to Sanda, whatever happens, and thankfully he got second, and yeah, another Indy 200 or something win. So yeah, happy days.
Well, congratulations. And as you say, a great result for Simtech. A 1-2. It's not easy to come by.
Oh, I just want to thank all the admins and commentators for the great job all season.
Well, thank you certainly to all the wonderful people at Race Department who help run, organise, and everything with these leagues. It's just down to me and my friends here, Peter, and everyone else who's I've had the pleasure, and we've all had the pleasure of listening to throughout the course of the season to come and talk over the races. That's the easy bit compared to you guys providing the fun out there. But yeah, so congratulations, Shane.
Thank you.
And yeah, so a massive thank you to all of the admins at Race Department who have come and made this league into what it is and made Race Department into what it is in a fantastic way to end the season. And it's been a great race. Have you got any closing thoughts, Peter?
Just like to give congratulations to Shane. 2 years in a row isn't easy, especially with where he was at some points in the race. But I always thought he had some sort of control that many of the others drivers didn't. I think Muniz had the 1 or 2 lap pace, but other than that, the setup wasn't quite there for him. But Jane Burke deservedly a winner, and I believe Ryan Seltzer deservedly a champion as well. I mean, apart from the Lausitz ring, he's had a very strong season with kicking off with a podium and then 2 top 10s as well as that, just missing out at Silverstone on a podium as well. So very well done to Ryan Seltzer.
Of course, Ale, have you any final comments for any of the drivers or any of the administrators who you've been working with?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank you, Joseph Wright, for joining me in administrating this series for the last 2 races, as it was supposed to be closed down halfway through the season. So without Joseph, it wouldn't be possible to have run the last 2 races. So a big thank you to Joseph.
Well, thank you to Joseph and to yourself, Ale, for all the effort you guys have gone to. And I think that's it from all of us. So thank you very much for coming to join us. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you again on Race Department soon. So until next time, it's goodbye from me.